17 for like sleep. This game's getting done tonight. Let's fucking go, boys. Me and Martin's watching. Let's forget to do the loading screens because all the loading screens always end forever. Let's fucking go! That's another freaking loading screen. Alright. Here's a question. Murder everyone here. Nice. Murder. Murder's always possible. Murder's always very possible. There's another gun up here. What is up here? There's another round. And also these any things? Yeah, the other things. Thank you. Find a lot more blood on his way. Including run record. I just get busted at Steel Hall. Remember now, it's the wash. Sounds fine to me.
reminder. Alt, Griffle. Error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself.
Oh, it's one of the pods.
Error. Hibernation pod access is illegal. State your employer. Registered. A fine of 10,000 bits will be assessed in your corporation's ledger for failure to follow proper hibernation pod procedures. Thank you for your cooperation.
That's hilarious.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. That's not valid.
Oh. Okay. Well. All strikes 9. All scratch die. Well, so I'm gonna take my pod. And oh, there goes. There's the soundboard. A lot of pods.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved? Jump starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2. Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
That's really all I need.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Not a bad idea.
These were the private quarters of the Hope's former crew. Shall we hold a moment of silence for the dearly departed? No? That's odd, because my programming would indicate that when forced to confront the idea of self-death, organics prefer... Oh, I see. Yes, never mind.
System error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself.
Same as
Error.
false.
Paradox protection protocols have prevented me from registering your stated identification. Please report to your nearest mechanical engineer.
Everything is
Error. Paradox prevention has temporarily disabled this unit's auditory processing. Thank you for your cooperation.
There he is. That's a hope have.
Remember not to take breaks on company time.
Oh, I need sleep and food, huh? Sleep and water at least. having that caffeinated drinks, which I think would actually help my water. I need to sleep a little bit.
Captain, Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
Thank the Lord you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible. How can I be of assistance? I request you do not wake me if I am sleeping upon your return.
Let's go see.
We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to?
Ow. Okay. I was in the wrong armor. I spent so much. Ow. Okay, just start my shit. Okay, let's kill the commander first, apparently, because... Ow. Yeah, you decided you do not need that face, apparently. I can just talk about it. Huh?
For your...
God damn. Jesus Christ. They just tried my shit. Wow. Ow. Not sure how best to not get just fucking slaughtered there. It almost could have worked. Oh. They didn't hear me.
Something's not right. I'm gonna go have a look.
No shit, Sherlock. One of you guys is dead.
Looking...
Oh, I thought there were no more of you, and then there were more of you, and I was dead. God damn it. I was running the wrong armor again, too. Fuck. I fucked up a little bit there. To put it mildly. I got 3 of them. It's the 4th guy. They didn't know existed. They got me. Do I have that drugging me to do more headshot damage? I do. Oh. Yeah, not bumping. That should help on the sneak more. That actually pretty useful. Anything else I can use help with that really? Looks like there's anything. No. Actually, that's probably a good idea too. Ow. And God damn it. That hurt a lot. And of course, the usual issue of waiting on the goddamn loading screens. Let's see if I can actually get I'm not done. I'm just let's up that. I can tingle them multiple times, so just keep upgrading it. Holy shit! You need to just make any gun viable, making it your level. Or I guess. Yeah. Yeah. More armor. Do I have better body armor? That one. That's 39. That's 41. So maybe. That's 46 over there. Oh, damn, 53, never mind. Yeah, that's 39 with a bunch of upgrades. Or I could do the 41 and upgrade more. Let's do that. I had a lot of money. I can't upgrade the gun. Can't mess with the armor though. Yeah, I can't really do much there. No skill gets on this, so that's good. Yeah. Oh, and if I change anything, it gets rid of the factory stock conflict. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. Let's be smart with this new armor. I'm going to actually before I do that. Also put on that. I save. So hopefully when I autosave, when I load the new autosave, it'll have me set with all the right guns and everything. Right, massively upgrading gun. Awesomely amazingly upgraded armor. All that fun shit. Let's hope.
I really don't want to get killed.
Aww. I hear that, Palme. So I've upgraded this gun. Let's see what happens when I put on the drugs. So I've got the stealth armor. Ability speak. So I got the stealth armor, the murder gun, the more sneak attack damage gun, helmet. Extra damage when I sneak attack bitches. Body attributes should help with just odds with SMG. He fucking exploded! I'm not gonna lie, that's fantastic. There you go. There you are. I managed to not die this time. Yay. Obviously, hell yes. Over the doors open. That's not great. A lot of buttons. A lot of buttons. I need a higher sneak. This is here. That's good. Oh. Or could, you know, I went that already. I mean, I got it already. Oh, this is bam. And there. If you're seeing the screen, Phineas Weevils have been perniciously kidnapped and very possibly probably incarcerated. The perfidious and cowardly government of Halcyon and the prison fortress of Tartarus. Shit. If I've not already been executed for charges leveled against me, I hope the person reading this term will find a way to fix my work or rescue me. Perfectly the latter. The screen constitutes my last testament, making my body and my belongings shall I see them from the aether. This is a character. Every emergency care package located in the hidden panel. Unlocks the back my terminal and clears contents of me. Where is that same panel? Oh. Of course, this bus code on big. Let's see. I want to see something. Wait, what? I was hoping it would actually say what it was on here. Damn it. Attacks increase the target, decrease the government targeting by 1 point per hit. This effect lasts a short time and can second multiple times. That just sounds like how to murder with Ellen. I thought that was a little bit Finn's Force. That sounds fun. Ooh, it's a starting N-ray gun with a better barrel, and I have to pick that out. And then yeah, that sounds useful. Jesus Christ, that gave me almost it. Oh. Second nap and then motherfucking go.
And this is mine now. I just got here, but I'm claiming ownership.
Actually, let's just go to Tartarus. Nap outside Tartarus because I want to. Because I'm sure I'll have to nap once I get to Tartarus.
Oh yeah.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Hell yeah. You never get to go to Hephaestus, Typhon. Say you go for like maybe 10 minutes, if that. don't get to go to. Sadness. But it's both Lebanon and Tartarus and determine the fate of the Halcyon colony. If there's anything I need to do before you end up the prison, do it now before you catch another turn. Would you like to continue? I like to save. Alright, can hit the wrong button. Yes, alright, the save file.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time.
Yeah, sounds fine. Anything useful at Tartarus?
Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684.
Oh.
Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return.
You promise not to leave without me?
I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain unless you do not return within 876,541,652 hours. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy.
Night, Nick.
You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed.
Oh. I can definitely do that tomorrow, yeah. What the hell is with you people in Night Valiants?
I'm sorry, you people? Did you just cast a generalization on upstanding UDL employees? That's a fine of 200 bits. You're up to 5,708, not including the cost of your execution and the disposal of your remains, which will be assessed posthumously.
You're a real officer and I'll be semi-biometric.
All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the ID of a productive, law-abiding employee so you can see what one looks like before you die. Tartarus Docking Authority, signing off.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? I'll be here.
Make sure I don't die. That's it. Alright. I'm
I like what you've done with the place. Kitschy collectibles are such a human inclination.
Okay. I have food and water, don't I? Yep. Food fine. Water. And food fine.
Do return in one piece, Captain.
That's the hope.
You get them with significant haste, if only because you need a lot of them as time goes on. In lieu of that tab,
7 might be modified. There it is. Fuck sprats. Every sprat dies. Nope, can't do that. Hey. Just want the heavy armor. That's even better. God damn it. If I massively upgraded armor piece and then it was made immediately useless. Oh, never mind. That was a piece of armor I fixed too. Wait.
Soldier?
I need 100 goddamn. I guess we have to 90, doesn't it? 85. Shit. Fuck. Buy and sell a fucking solar dunk. I should grab all the shit I didn't need and just toss it in here to sell off. Oh well. Chocolate milk.
Actually, it has about the same range as the other gun, it's just that it has trouble time.
53. I can remember. Oh. Oops. Oops. Oh well. Okay, we're gonna use this off. So much of this stuff. How much money is it actually? Only 6 or so envelopes to buy here. Always buy a volume. That's annoying. I have no money. It was like everything I did, I still have no money. Goddamn. has a 41 max. Increase rate of fire, increase crit damage, lower range on noise. Let's up the rate. Let's up the crit damage. And give it, another 20 rounds. Magazine. God damn it, out of money again. Okay, sell things again. Oh boy. That's not where was at all.
You're fine. I thought you had hit the refine button, so I just launched us into the next mission.
With the Martin if you buy the transaction. I realized how much the board hate me. I forgot about that. All of them are like, how much the Car gets to the year, kind of class love me. Mustang loves me. Split loves me. And board kind of hates me because I, murdered a lot of them. That makes sense, yeah. That's not bad. I had hacking something so low.
Oh, shh. I didn't know you could
Oh.
do that. That's awesome.
What?
You can execute the pilots out of their seats.
Oh, look, quick sense. Alright. The Vermin 2, finally. Secret to the Vermin. I should have got a gun that had, melee.
What was that? Lawbreaker, I saw that! Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
Are you talking while on ship?
Oh, no. Don't tell anyone, please.
Everyone gets one mistake. Just don't do it again.
Whew. Thank you.
There's much worry. I'm going to fucking die. Thumb attack with the thumbstick.
Something's not. What? Hold it right there. Hey! Hold it. Something about you doesn't look right.
No, no, no. I know I haven't been feeling very well.
Yeah? You're not contagious, are you?
Not sure, but this morning I was bleeding in my ears.
I don't want to know. Just stay back.
I like that like hat, just in case.
You get tired of patrolling? Just go rough somebody.
Well then. Go. Oh, there. Alright. And if you didn't have time to do it, suck to go sure. Like I don't think there's any other way to go. Oh my god, this last
After
boss.
all you've done, all the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me, your misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon.
I'm treating your corruption one idiot at a time.
Idiot! I'm not the one marching to my death in a maximum security prison. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off.
That's my leg saying it wants to cramp up. That's not great. That's not great. No. Yeah, what a mince words, huh?
Psychopathic outlaws don't deserve the time.
Hey!
Thankfully, you're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Then I'll drag you to the executioner myself.
Calling it sitting now.
Is that what you think you're doing? This path of wanton societal disruption? You call that being a savior? I call it sabotage. You know what saboteurs get, Captain? Summary executions. In the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint with your skull. It was fucking expensive.
I'm sure you can talk about this, Rockwell. Let's work something out.
Absolutely not. Akande was always the sociable one, not me. Need I
Oh.
repeat the magic 2 words?
Conde I killed, right? Well then, I'm on my way. Prepare your head for bashing. Let's get the armor on. That's right, there is a talking. I don't think they can be talking out of this shit. Oh, yeah, finally lockpicking it maxed. Well, ain't that fun?
Processing security patrol.
Fuck's sake. Oh, that's a lot of hell. Try to sell the. I do sell the grain launcher. Try this. Or it could just crush me against the wall, turn me into paste. Oh, please don't hit a autosave at some point in there. Fuck. That's not gonna be good. This is gonna really suck. I mean, I can just still walk through shit, but still, it's not great. What am I? Oh, great. Transition to this mode. Actually, before I do it, do I have a mod that can get shock damage? And ray shock. Let's try changing it a little bit. Sell off. All pods. Tinker the fuck out of this. I cannot do so anymore. What's the other ones? Oh, down for the walking again. Same thing we did last time. Forget to put on the right fucking number. Powerful is the version, by the way. 295, Jesus Christ. That's powerful. That's
was that? Something's not... Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
Are you talking on shift?
Oh, no. Don't tell anyone, please.
I want to get to one mistake. Just do it again.
Thank you.
Hold on. Oh, there's anything over here in the crowd. Oh.
Got a promotion coming. I can feel it.
After all you've done, all the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me, your misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon.
I understand the colony.
That crackpot's plan is ludicrous. We have steps, action items, budgets, and reports. All he's got is a guilty conscience and lofty dreams. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off.
Yeah, I want to mince words, huh?
Psychopathic outlaws don't deserve the time. Thankfully, you're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Then I'll drag you to the executioner myself.
Oh, of course. How long until you're done?
Is that sarcasm? Do you know what I do to people who employ the lowest, most base form of humor? I fire them. Alas, as you are woefully unemployed, I'll have to do the next best thing and have you killed.
I should have got that fucking...
In the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint with your skull. It was fucking expensive.
I can't wait to get in there and kill you. It's gonna be an of my year. I wish I had the drinker. I wonder how well I would have. That one's gonna test a dumb thing. Let's see how well. Let's see if this works. Let's get a free sniper. Just, you know, pop cap in his ass. Ass me face. Just that was a damage. Or... Wait, drop. Oh my god. That's awesome. out for healing tools. Oh shit. I think what a little preparation does. It's like, oh, I know the. Okay, let's just swap over to shock damage, and everything fucking dies. Okay. Oh, really? That was it? That was the fight you put up? Bitch? Well, I shot the chairman.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and killed the chairman just to rescue one doddering old man? You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You don't want to let anything happen to you, finish.
I know, my friend, I know. And now it's finally over. The board's finished. It's only a matter of time before the entire system slips from their grasp. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing.
Oh, jeez.
2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Yeah, that orc ahead of us. Best started.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Got me. I'll beat her above the other colony.
I can't tell you how glad I am to hear that.
You guys like compared everyone on the way out.
When I revived you, I thought we were going to save this colony all by ourselves. But I was wrong. We can't save Halcyon on our own. We're all going to have to pull together, somehow. We are not a colony anymore. Our last connection to Earth has been severed. I don't know if we'll survive, but we're going to have to try our best.
Damn straight. I wonder how all the stuff I did affects everything.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable.
Supernova Trophy.
From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Left unchecked, the war on Monarch consumed both MSI and the Iconoclasts. And when the sulfur clouds settled, only stragglers from both factions remained. Some found their way to Sublight, some to Terra 2, and some lived their final years fighting for food in the wilderness. In the end, only the beasts remained. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Over the years, the ruins of Edgewater caused irreversible environmental damage to the landscape of Emerald Vale, owing largely to the presence of toxic compounds in the town's building materials. As for Edgewater's former workers, their remains provided a source of nourishment for the region's fauna, leading to an explosion in the sprat population. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Junlei Tennyson fought to protect the Groundbreaker's independence. While the board's influence faded, mechanical difficulties forced her to rely on parts that only corporations could provide. The cost was high, and time would tell if Junlei could balance the work with her aspirations for a better future. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Though Ellie Fenhill perished during her adventures with you, she went out the way she would have wanted, in a blaze of violence and infamy. Felix Millstone never lived to see what became of the colony. He did not survive his encounter with you. Parvati didn't survive her adventure with you. Nyoka didn't survive her adventure with you. Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. Though he was always haunted by the failures of his past, he was determined to make things right by building toward the future. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. The revival project was hard and painful work, but in the end, despite limited resources, over half the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Even after Wells passed away, the Hope scientists and engineers worked night and day to pull Halcyon from the brink of collapse. Their efforts continue to this day, which may be reason enough for optimism. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Life will never be the same in Halcyon. It is widely agreed that the colony has a chance of stabilizing within a generation, owing to the hard work and determination of the surviving colonists. Recovery is a distant goal, and the path is long and uncertain. But the people of Halcyon carry on, determined as ever. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Oh, that's it. I love this game. I'm probably gonna. Oh yes. What happens if I can keep the fucking live press line going? So I'm not. development that would help surviving characters for really good because it survives their campaigns. Awesome. Bud. Done. Okay, anyway. Go. What's next? I don't think. Yep. I don't know how many hours how much time I actually put into the game. That's it.
stronger than me, I'll fucking kill me.
With that, I better what I do. I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do next. Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams. And may your own gaming